Hey YouTube, in today's deck profile video I'm going to be going over my new duo deck. So this is the updated duo deck featuring Reit, or it focuses around Duo Temptation Reit as the main Vanguard, whereas last year it was Mir. So now I switched back to Reit because she now has a new stride form. So it's her time to shine as the idol this time around. So went back to her. Deck functions pretty similar to Raging Form in Shadow Paladin, for those wondering, in terms of like a similar example of how the deck plays. So we'll go over that right now. Start off for Duo Temptation Reit. So as with all Duo cards, there is a black outfit artwork and a white outfit for those who didn't know. So that's just unique to the Duo's sub archetype within the Bermuda Triangle clan. So for Duo Temptation Reit, she is the original restander for Bermuda Triangles back in the Limit Break and Break Ride format of Cardfight Vanguard. So yeah, she's seen better days. She came out kind of like later in the Break Ride format, close to when the Legion came out or started. So she was only popular for a short while, and then I remember like her rival matchup was her versus the Regalia Minerva build in the Genesis clan. So Minerva had come out like a couple months before her, but yeah, that was back in 2014, I believe. So she's been around for a while, but she's still a pretty cool card. Duos are pretty interesting. They're all about hand advantage and revealing 3 of the same, so it's kind of interesting playstyle. Next, I am running 4 of the new Duo Sparkle Light Priani. So she's the new duo from Prismatic Divas. She helps you get your other grade 3 duo. So basically, the way I look at her is she's kind of like Hex Slay Dragon in Raging Form. When at the end of your turn, she's a Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 1. And you can choose 2 cards with Duo with the same card name in your hand, reveal them. If you reveal 2 or more, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 with Duo in the name, not named her, and you can write it on V as rest and shuffle your deck. If you reveal 3 cards or more, draw a card. So it rewards you for, at the very minimum, it gets Reit as the Vanguard. But if you have 3 of the same, you can draw a card, so it replenishes itself. Not as consistent as Hex Slay, where he just straight up goes back to your hand to use as stride fodder. But it does have that duo twist where it helps you draw if you can pull it off. But it is kind of hard to play this deck. I'll say that Duos is definitely a more higher advanced difficulty level in terms of playing this deck effectively in the current meta compared to other Bermuda Triangle builds that are much easier, like Chocho and Prisms, for instance, or even Reindeer and those guys. So next, for grade 2s, for Duo Fantasia Lamry. So this is the grade 2 support card for Reit. She's been around since Harmony was first revealed, since Loris came out. So she's been around for a while. Basically, she's 11k attacker for when Reit's the Vanguard, and when she's returned to your hand and you have Reit as the Vanguard, you can search your deck for up to 1 Lamry, add it to your hand, shuffle the deck. So she searches for herself, which is pretty unique. So it just helps you. Her purpose is to help get 3 copies of herself in the hand for the discard for the stride unit, or 2 copies of herself for the discard for the Limit Break restand. So that's basically her function in terms of her role in the deck. Next, I'm running 4 Duo Creamy Caramel Cornet. So she came out last year when Mir got support. She's still relatively good as a duo, so that's why I'm still running her in here. Again, she can be a 11k attacker just like Lamry, but she doesn't require Reit. Instead, she just requires the generic Duo keyword for that to happen. And then, and the other thing is that effect only applies on the turn that you place her on R. So it combos decently well with Olivia plays, and the turns that you call her naturally. So stuff like that. And then choose up to 3 cards with duo from your hand, reveal them. If they're all the same name, and that's the key thing, you gotta have 3 of the same name, she gets 5k power until the end of the turn. And the last grade 2 I'm running is Minamo. So Minamo, she is a power gainer, and if you have 3 of the same, you can essentially power gain +5 for free with her. So the main reason why you only need 3 of her instead of 4 of her is because usually her effect goes off when she's on the field and you bounce stuff up. Then you can counterblast 1, she gains 5, and then you reveal 3, and if they're all the same name, you unflip 1. So she's just another power gainer. So these 3, I mean, whereas Lamry's your advantage, card advantage gainer, these are like your beaters. So that's grade 2s. For grade 1s, 4 Prism Duo Aria. So she is the Prism, she's a Prism and a Duo Sentinel. I really wish Prism's got a new Sentinel or Duo's got a new Sentinel in this set release, but they didn't, so they still have to share. But yeah, so she's a Duo Sentinel, so 4 of her. And then next, 4 of one of the most important duos. So she's been around since Reit has debuted. So 4 Duo Petite Etoile Piece. So she is the card that back in the day people said that this made this deck broken. So she's your draw advantage engine. So her plus the starter, plus just being able to bounce 1 or more of her while you have 3 in the hand, just helps you plus so much in card advantage. So yeah, basically when she's bounced, you counterblast, draw a card, assuming you have a Duo Vanguard, of course, and then you reveal 3 of her, and you unflip 1. Yeah, that's right. So you can basically draw like up to like 3 cards for free for no counterblast. That's why she's pretty good. Yeah, so I remember this card being really broken with the starter. So next, 4 Duo Caprice Cats Marjona. So this next slot, I would say, of 4 cards could be the Stride Fodder if you wanted. It could be Lulu, the Ears Lulu Duo. That is a power gainer, so that could be good if you want for more. If you want to go for more power gain, you could throw Lulu in here, because that behind these Minamo and this card would be pretty good. But I feel like it's not really needed. This card instead is basically your counter charge, or not counter charge. Yeah, counter blast. I mean counter charge. Yeah, counter charge. She unflips basically. So for her, I went for more utility for the grade 1s, the power for the grade 2s. And then 2 Duo Gorgeous Lady Kazuha. So Kazuha is in here because she, like, you don't need 4 of her because she's gonna sit in the back and boost stuff, and then if that boosted attack hits the Vanguard, the opponent's Vanguard, you can counterblast 1 Duo, and then bounce another rear guard, and search your deck for up to 1 card with the same name as that unit. So you can use her in the early game to help search out your copies of Peace, or whatever other thing that you need to duplicate, basically. So that's why I'm running 2 of her. Now, I do want to also mention, I forgot to mention this, if you don't want to run this, another good grade 1 that you could run without running the Stride Fodder would be the Limit Break Enabler, which is also a Prism Duo. So that can potentially allow you to use Reit's Restand skill early. I used to run them in here, and I was able to pull it off a couple times in the early game. It's also worth noting that the new Reit Stride unit is a LB4, so the Limit Break Enabler might also be ideal for that reason as well. So just keep that in mind. But that's basically the grade 1s. The trigger lineup, it's all duos, as far as I know. They're not in any order. But anyways, it is 12 criticals, if I remember. So you got the 4 heals. You have the one with the effect, so 4 of that. And yeah, so I don't know what happened here, but these aren't in order. But it's 12 critical, 4 heal, all duo. And Duo Lover Singer Darling is the starter because she's the duo star and she works really well with Peace. If you've got 3 of them, you can put this in the soul, bounce all 3 of them, and draw 3 cards for free. So that's the main deck. For the strides, 2 duo Everlasting Red, because just like with Raging Form, you only need 2 of this. It's very hard to pull it off because you have to drop 3 of the same. And there'll be more reliable stride units like Olivia. 2 Kuna, she's another new duo, but she's your on-hit duo stride unit. So 1 white, 1 black. You only really need 1 if you want to run 1. She has a pretty decent first stride in this deck. Then 4 Olivia, because she's just pretty solid. 1 Elprina, because if you have Peace in your hand, you can call them down, main phase bounce them up, and draw cards off of that. 1 of the Cho-Cho stride. 1 of the Prism duo stride, because you can use this as an alternate on hit if you don't want to stride Kuna. And then just my typical G Guardian lineup. So anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of my duo deck, how it stacks up to Prisms and the other rival Bermuda decks, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.